Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
These are brothers here from GMS Atlanta. We're going to start off by giving our praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rukah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule and teach well. And peace and safety to the Akim around the four corners of the world, pushing out this truth in all diligence and putting their lives on the lines to do so. You know, we're just doing it in transit on spiritually and physically growing in the truth. You know, you never want to be stuck on that same level because, Lord willing, we're future leaders, and you're going to have men under your belt who's looking up to you. Mm-hmm. You know, so you always want to. The scriptures say, "Get wisdom with all our understanding." Yep. Roughly paraphrase.
Yeah, all that get understanding.
With all that get understanding.
Yep.
You know, so you never want to be comfortable on that same level as when you first come into the truth.
Yeah.
You know. You want to say
you always have that statement where certain guys will be like, man, the reason why certain rappers start putting out, their output levels wasn't as aggressive, and they stopped the inspiration because they got rich and they stopped being hungry, man. Mm-hmm. And it's true, you got to be a hungry lion, man. Right. Always trying to devour a plate, always trying to take over new territory. You have to have the spirit of lordship, kingship in you, which it first starts with the knowledge.
That's right.
It starts with you gathering understanding and growing with the understanding as you obtain it. Because this thing isn't about just being some guru with a lot of information. All the wisdom or the knowledge that you gradually obtain, you should be looking to apply those things.
That's right.
Because wisdom is the application of the knowledge, which in turn makes the knowledge manifest through your actions. And your actions dictate your growth. You know? Yeah. So I got that definition of grow. The word grow comes from the word, well, in definition, the verb, to undergo natural development by increasing in size and changing physically, progress to maturity. Yeah, so it says to progress to maturity, and the progression doesn't start overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. It's progressively, as you progressively grow in this thing, you get more and more mature, and you get better in this thing.
That's right. What did Paul say? If I'm not mistaken, when I was a child, I spake as a child. You know.
Yep. And when he became a man, he let childish things, put childish things away.
That's right. That's maturity. You know.
Yep.
And Paul understood that. You know. Paul matured that. I mean, Salakia, Paul knew that he had to mature. You know, and we have to be the same way. You know, we can't be in a certain period of time while you're in the truth, man. You gotta have certain aspects about yourself that brothers can see, like, oh yeah, he's growing. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yep. This is about growth and development, man. Mm-hmm. You know, like the brother said, and your growth will show. Scripture says, wisdom shall be known in speech. By how you speak, how you conduct yourself, how you hold your tongue at certain times, how you listen and observe, how you discern things, and how you move on the whole all shows your growth in this faith, man. Shows your level of maturity, what you engage in, what things that you actually retract from. The ins and outs of these things shows you your spiritual level, so to speak, and you should always want to upgrade. And it all comes ultimately from critiquing yourself.
That's right.
Examining yourself, saying like, nah, I could have did that better. Judging yourself, be like, nah, that was a foolish decision. I made a child mistake, man. That was a real young mistake.
That's right.
I got to get over that child's hump, so to speak.
God.
I got to level up, man. I got to get over this the mental pettiness. Mm-hmm. You know, I got to stop, you know, basically letting demons overcome me. And the way that you overcome those spirits is by growing, getting more attentive to the word, learning more wisdom, applying more wisdom, setting up spiritual defenses, and fortifying and protecting yourself with the layers of this truth. God. You know, from Genesis to Revelations, gathering more of an understanding and inspiration from your leaders, the apostles and elders, and the leaders of your predecessors, which is the prophets. Reading about kings and seeing how their decision making was, and how they became so strong through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, and follow that track.
That's right.
So continuing on, it says to become larger or greater over a period of time. Increase. And the synonyms is increase, swell, multiply, snowball. Yeah, that's heavy.
Yeah, swell.
Yep.
You gotta soak in, and you gotta soak in like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta be like a sponge and truth, soak up all this the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man, and leak it out.
Yeah.
You know, and to the hopefully elect, man.
Yeah, because
you
can't just input and not output. It doesn't work like that. It's true for spiritual input and output, and that's what makes you grow. You a plant, and matter of fact, I'm gonna get that at Proverbs. I'm gonna get this one Proverbs 1, and I'm gonna jump to the one you asked for too.
Okay.
Proverbs 1:1. Psalms 1:1.
Okay.
Psalms 1:1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. So it's all about growing, and it says that you will be like a plant that's a tree that's planted by the rivers of water. Meaning you're gonna have abundant resources so nearby that you'll stay hydrated. And when you see how trees, when they absorb all that water and proper sunlight, depending upon that tree grows very, very big, man. Trunk is very thick, hard to hew down, rooted.
Yeah, rooted.
You know, it's budding. It produces an immense amount of fruit, leaves. You know, it's stable. You want to be that tree. You know, and it all starts from the faith of a mustard seed. That's why Yahweh Shai emphasized the faith of a mustard seed, because the mustard seed is a very, very tiny seed. It's minuscule. So your faith starts very, very small when you first come in this thing from the spark of faith, but you build on your faith. You build on your godliness. You build on your sincerity. You build on all these brotherly kindness, all these things that Peter said, because he said if these things abound in you, it shall make you neither unbearing nor unfruitful in the knowledge of Yahweh Shai. Meaning you're going to constantly be producing fruits. All right? Beautiful fruits at that. Multi-colored fruits. You know, not these GMOs. All right? Not seedless fruit. You know, fruits that actually are nutritionally dense.
Beneficial to your body.
Beneficial to your body. Beneficial to your spirit. And that thing, and it comes with growth. Going back to the word snowball, like they said. Because you build on your health. You teach men about how to take care of themselves in a spiritual way instead of running to the so-called white man. You teach men how to overcome their lusts. You know, you break down the scriptures of who the Edomites is, of who Jacob is, and expound the wisdom so that they can grow and they can tell the next. And that's the purpose and the importance also of growth, so that other people can other fruits can be brought in this thing through your works. And you said you wanted Proverbs 4:1?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. This is Proverbs 4:1. Hear ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding.
And that, you know, that children is talking about you so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos. You know, you keep going.
Where here goes into Shema, meaning to listen up. For I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law.
That's right, man. And a lot of people forsook this good doctrine, you know, that the Lord has given us, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And it tells you the byproduct of that. You want to say something?
Nah, you can go.
It tells you the byproduct of forsaking the doctrine, basically being a broken cistern that can hold no waters. Because these are living waters, and you have to put living waters in a proper vessel for it to sustain and to continue living and thriving. You can't just put any pure or strong and potent material in anything. You don't see people wine sellers putting pure wine in fucking plastic bottles.
Right.
So you want to be a clean and pure vessel, be as clean and polished as possible, so when the Spirit of the Lord is in you, it won't leak out as a runny vessel. All right, it'll continue to increase. Your vessel will continue to expand. Your spirit will continue to expand as the Lord drops more and more waters, and more understanding, elevating and increasing your reserves, which is your spirit and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai.
God, because this is just the beginning, man. You know, we really haven't seen everything that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua has in store for us. You know? So you got to be willing to accept the beginning stages before you can even get to what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua has in store for us.
That's
you know?
Right. And it starts with ultimately being a disciple, which means a disciplined learner. Satan.
God.
All right. Verse 3. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments, and live.
That's what. Hey, if you keep the law, statutes, and commandments that the Lord has given us, you'll live. You know. Hey, and within that, man, that's growth. You know, you'll grow. You know, you'll understand how to move. You know, you'll understand how to communicate with the brothers.
How to conduct yourself.
Yeah, how to conduct yourself.
And then you'll reflect and see how society is supposed to be ran in righteousness. You'll vent and you'll get frustrated with the conditions that you're in, which in turn makes you want to grow.
Yeah.
Because if you're frustrated, you're gonna be like, man, I gotta do more. I gotta push this spirit. I gotta pray more to the Lord, man. I gotta send more curses out here, man. You know, I gotta get stronger so that I won't fall susceptible for these demons. Because these demons is growing, man.
Yeah.
It's us against the world. It's only a small few. And it's imperative to be as strong and durable as possible, because this little multitude of men is going to take down the whole world as you know it.
That's right. Hey, just laying back off your point, one of my favorite movies, 300, man, that was a small number. They were outnumbered, but they were all in one accord. They all believed in the same thing. You know, hey, we got to be the same way.
They were constantly training, sparring themselves, refining themselves, building themselves and strengthening themselves for the battle. They were geared. They were into to taking down countries for their country's sake. You want to say something?
Yeah, and in that movie too, they started young. They started as children. What was like 8, 9 years old?
They would get punched.
Yeah, they would get trained. They would get thrown out into the wilderness.
Yep.
You know, and when they came back to their house, the father or whoever was the king at that time, they had to see that child has grown.
Oh yeah,
you know, that child has been through certain things, like Leonidas killed the wolf. You know. Yep,
to see if he qualified.
Yeah.
See, because the Lacedaemonians, which they were Jake, they was all about noble stock, man. They said when there was certain children that was deficient, if a child had a messed up, well, I wouldn't say as far as a messed up ankle, but was just so-called retarded, or slow, mentally damaged, they would throw the child off the cliff, man. Because they was like, man, it ain't gonna be no weaklings in our unit, and that's why Leonidas rebuked the guy with the humpback, because he was like, man, you're not cut out for this. You're not cut out for this league, man. You know how to swing the sword. You bad with the stabbing and the spear work, but your defense is wavering.
Yeah.
You can't even actually protect the man beside you, which in turn will cripple the whole force. Yeah. Because we work as a body. Every man's shield protects his neighbor, and they slash with the right hand and hold the shield with the left, so to speak.
Yeah, that's
and it's the same thing in this faith, man. You want to be able to hold that shield up at all times, hold that sword up at all times, just like Moses. Moses had to keep his hands up for the nation of Israel to fight to win in that war. That's us in the spirit. We got to keep our hands up, man.
That's right.
We got to keep our dukes up. We got to keep our spirit up and continue to grow in that. And when we get weak, guess what? You have the priests, the brothers around you, to actually hold your hands up, just like Moses. Moses' hands got weak. And he actually had men that minister and hold his hands up so that war would be fought and overthrown. And that's why it's important to have that brother to help you grow too. Because growth doesn't just start with you alone running this race alone. Now you have a spiritual sparring partner, or sparring partners, elders, teachers, your sensei, so to speak. So there's no reason to not grow in this thing. All right.
Was there more on that?
Yep. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth.
That's right. Decline. Hey, that's turning back. Hey, once you get, like the brother was going into earlier, once you get that knowledge, that's when you got to apply that and that's when wisdom comes into play. That's
right. And the importance of that word decline, the scripture speak about don't decline. The word decline, D means to take away, and cline basically is the opposite of an incline. To decline is to go down.
Down.
You know, you don't want to be getting taken away, man. You don't want to be getting taken off the path, and you also don't want to be a brother that's always hiccuping. You know, you never could. You don't got your flow right. After years and years, you still don't have no balance in this thing. You got to gather that balance, man. You got to take time and work on your balance. Get out the world of soul. Stop focusing on things of the world. Focus on this war. Focus on refining your mind, getting stronger, getting more polished. Growth. You know, all those things are important if you want to incline in this thing, man.
That's right.
If you want to rise to the top, you got to rise mentally. Which, like the brother said, going into the sponge, soaking up all this wisdom, and evolving with it. And I'm gonna end it with the scripture. If you had anything else.
That was it.
It's Sirach 24 and 29. For her thoughts are more than the sea, and her counsels profounder than the deep. And it's talking about wisdom. Verse 30. I also came out as a brook from a river, and as a conduit into a garden. I said I will water my best garden, and will water abundantly my garden bed. And lo, my brook became a river, and my river became a sea. And what does that mean? That means that he grew. He grew from a little pond, a little lake, a little garden, and he expanded to a river. And that river eventually expanded into a sea. And wide in space and very, very deep. Having a lot of fish, so to speak, clean fish and clean substance, you know, subject to purification. You know, because all those things come with the nature of a sea or a large body of water, and you want to be one of those brothers that when a brother's around you, they get nothing but pure edification. They feel cleaner when they're around you, man. They feel more pure after they converse with you, man.
That's right.
They feel stronger, wiser, more encouraged to fight. Instead of falling, man. You don't want to be a weakling in this thing, because guess what? That spirit can actually linger on a brother. You know, your whole spirit, when you're around brothers, that should be making brothers tremble and shit. You know, you're getting scared to do things because of that fearful spirit. You don't want to be one of those individuals, man. You want to be have a spiritual mindset like a king, dominating. You know, and I'm gonna continue on. I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and will send forth her light afar off. And it says shine as the morning because the morning is the highest time where the light shines. We trying to reach the height of this thing.
That's right.
We trying to get to the pinnacle of knowledge. This thing doesn't stop, you know. This truth doesn't stop. We said the scripture says in Isaiah the 62nd chapter, I will not rest till Zion is made a praise in the earth. That's
right.
This thing you ain't supposed to slow down. You're supposed to be speeding up. You know, beating your old time. Destroying the old man. Growing by and by. Next year, Lord willing, we not here next year. But say for instance, next year you should be stronger than you was last year.
That's right.
The year after that, you should be stronger than the years you were prior to that.
And the scriptures speak on Micah 2 and 10. This is not our rest. You know?
Yep. You should be more vexed. You know, on top of all the attributes that the Spirit of the Lord gives you. All right. I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy and leave it to all ages forever. Behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all that seek wisdom. And that's what it's all about. It's for all that seek wisdom and that want to gain more of a spirit to dwell in the house of the Lord. We want men to come into this thing so that they could meet the Lord, so that they could get in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, being at his door.
That's right.
Eating of his bread, drinking of these living waters. And that's important. And we have to grow so that we can actually feed the flock.
That's right.
We have to be watchmen. We have to be diligent. All these things have to be in us. And it takes growth. It takes us pushing ourselves, self-examination.
That's right.
Self-preservation. All these things all them attributes that got self in it, man. You know, just look up self and type it in on Google. Majority of those things, man, self-critiquing, all those things should be attributes of a leader, of yourself, which those are characteristics of a leader. So that's all we have for brothers. You want to close?
Yeah, we go. That's all we have for brothers. We hope you are edified. We gonna go ahead and close out, giving all praise and glory